This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good morning and welcome to this morning's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I am Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. Even before his party won the 2015 general and regional elections, Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo had made it pellucid that ExxonMobil would not be allowed to recover costs associated with the establishment of its Ogle headquarters. He has maintained that stance until now. Further to this, last year he said that the government made some adverse findings during the final stages of an audit for $1.6 billion ExxonMobil, which said it expended up to 2017. The vice president said that some of the costs being claimed by Exxon are not considered recoverable by the government. Should ExxonMobil and the government be unable to find resolution over disputed costs, the provision of the Stabroek Block Production Sharing Agreement give the American oil giant the privilege of still recovering the said costs pending the final outcome of a legal recourse. And now let's tell you, Senior Minister within the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, on Tuesday skirted the question of whether Guyana was getting a fair share of its revenue from its oil deals, to instead saying that what Guyana gets is already dictated by the contract, and that, I quote, "we have to work with them and make the best of them," end of quote. Dr. Singh was reminded of President Irfaan Ali's position that Guyana's resources would be useless to the nation's development if not exploited. And now let's tell you the three individuals who were killed on Monday night during a shootout with police in the backlands of Better Hope, East Coast Demerara, have been identified. The two Mazaruni prison escapees among the dead were identified as 25-year-old Imran Ramsewak and 28-year-old Rayon Jones. The third individual, a woman, has been identified as 49-year-old Savita Rajkumar, also known as Debbie of Better Hope South, Squatting Dam. According to police, she was a close acquaintance of one of the dead prison escapees. Police are currently hunting another man who escaped following the shootout with the cops. He is believed to be a Mazaruni prison escapee as well. And now let's tell you, it is high time for Guyana to secure solid financial assurance from Stabroek Block operators ExxonMobil, Sinnock Nexen, and Hess to ensure that it is protected should an oil disaster occur on our shores. So said international lawyer Melinda Janke. With Exxon's looming financial troubles, she said sooner is better than later. To understand the magnitude of costs being behind an oil disaster, Janke pointed to the British Petroleum and its well blowout in the Gulf of Mexico in 2010. In that disaster, which is deemed as the world's worst accidental oil spill, BP was required to pay for $70 billion in damages. You are listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is your morning newscast. We will return after the break.
Digicel Prime Bundles just got better with 3 new apps. Watch more with PlayGo. Cheer more with Sportsmax. Read more news with Loop. Listen more with D-Music. Plus extra data. It's simply more bundled together. 51 gigabytes for 7 days for only $2,000. Live the experience with Digicel. Activate today on the My Digicel app.
Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burbies 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. Let's head over back to Dr. Ashni Singh. He has dismissed concerns raised by stakeholders that the country could likely fall prey to the China Belt and Road Initiative, now described by some Western countries as a debt trap diplomacy. He said the government is firmly committed to maintaining fiscal and debt sustainability. Defending the notion of borrowing, Dr. Singh was adamant that proceeds from any loans secured would be going towards infrastructural projects aimed at bringing about long-term benefits, and reiterated government prudence in its financial obligations. Meanwhile, in Papua New Guinea, plans for the expansion of the project led by ExxonMobil have stalled for over a year, as Exxon refuses to offer fair terms to the state. The government has demanded a bump up from 40% in existing deals to 60% for newer projects. PNG Prime Minister James Marape, who gained popularity for condemning unfair exploitation by extractive companies, decreed the lopsided deals the poverty-stricken nation had signed with several foreign companies. The PM said that the country has been unfairly held ransom by Exxon and its partners, and told the parliament his administration would forge ahead with plans to increase the state's take. And moving on, a woman who on Monday reportedly attempted to kill herself by drowning in the Essequibo River was rescued by a passing paddling boat. Police reports identified the woman as only 40-year-old Rajeshri of Supanam Creek. Rajeshri was fishing together with her husband when she reportedly plunged overboard around 19 hours. Her husband had lodged a report with police around 5 hours the following day. He stated that his wife failed to resurface after she jumped overboard. However, Rajeshri was found alive and well. The woman recounted that she swam a good distance before she was rescued. And finally, let's tell you the Annandale man of 51-year-old Mohammed Khan, who was found dead on Saturday, has died from a brain hemorrhage, which resulted from blunt force trauma to the head. Commander of Region 4C, Kali Parashram, said that it was an old injury that Khan sustained some 6 weeks ago. It is believed that those injuries were inflicted by Annandale businessman 62-year-old Hari Prasad Bagwandin. As a result, he was rearrested as police continue investigation into Khan's death.
And that's the news of the moment. Remember to get the full details of these stories, pick up a copy of the Kaieteur News. And don't forget, you can catch